Finzilla. Devour opportunities. Alright, look. What would you do if money didn't exist? Some might say travel the world. Others might say pursue their favorite hobbies. While a few might say they would do absolutely nothing. Achieving FIRE, otherwise known as Financially Independent Retired Early, can unlock the life you would have chosen if money did not exist. This life will look entirely different from one person to the next, but the most amazing thing about it is that it's completely yours. In this video, we are going to follow Kira and Jody. Kira wants nothing more than to travel the world and visit with friends and family. She is going to prioritize achieving financial freedom so she can live life on her own terms as soon as possible. Jody loves fishing and wants to have his own charter one day when he retires. He is going to prioritize living a comfortable, career-focused, risk-free lifestyle where he never has to sacrifice quality of life. Both subjects are 25 years old and start their career with $20,000 of savings and a $60,000 salary. Kira is going to follow the 60-30-10 rule, an aggressive budgeting structure that facilitates putting the majority of your earnings towards investing and sacrificing quality of life in order to limit expenses. 60% of her earnings will go towards a diversified portfolio of investments. 30% will go towards covering her living expenses, and 10% will go towards shopping for things that she likes. Kira places less value on her career and focuses more on achieving FIRE. Therefore, she only achieves an annual salary increase of 3%, just below the average annual salary increase in the United States, according to data from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. Jody doesn't follow any particular budgeting structure and just puts 10% of his income into his 401k. He spends the rest on going out with friends, expensive vacations, and a nice new car. Jody is more career-focused and risk-averse. Therefore, he averages an annual salary increase of 5%. On year one, Kira immediately invests her $20,000 and continues to contribute 60% of her income into her investments. She has successfully built her financial freedom launchpad. One commonly used method to achieve this is by purchasing a home with a 3.5% down FHA loan and house hacking it, renting rooms out to friends and coworkers. For more information about house hacking, check out the Everything Guide to House Hacking by our good friend Robert Leonard. The link to his book is in the description, along with many other financial freedom turbo boosters. Jody doesn't feel comfortable investing his $20,000 into things that have a risk of making his hard-earned money disappear. He continues to contribute 10% of his earnings into his 401k and spends the rest on a higher quality of life. Jody works so hard at his job that he gets an early promotion and continues getting an annual salary increase of 2% higher than Kira. Our two subjects continue their journey for 10 years. Kira and Jody are both 35 years old. For Kira, it has been a long road of sacrifice, reading investing books and listening to podcasts, and saying no to things a lot more than she was used to. Jody has gone to countless concerts, eaten at almost every restaurant in his city, and taken multiple vacations per year. Jody has lived. After 10 years of aggressively investing 60% of her income, Kira has $750,000 in personal investments and a salary of $80,000 per year. According to the 4% rule of retirement, you can live off of 4% of your investments without lowering the principal balance. In essence, you are only living off of the income your investment money is generating. Following the 4% rule, Kira can withdraw $2,500 per month without disrupting the principal of her portfolio. After much goal setting and self-reflection, she has decided that for her to live comfortably, she needs at least $5,000 per month. Now she has the option of working part-time from her computer while she begins her travels. However, for the sake of this video, she decides that she has fallen in love with the FIRE grind and continues to pursue complete financial freedom instead. As her salary increases, she can increase her quality of life while still adhering to the 60-30-10 budgeting structure. Jody is working hard and playing hard, making a $97,000 salary and still only putting 10% of it towards his retirement account per year. After 10 years, Jody has accumulated $125,000 in his 401k. Although he wants his own fishing charter someday, it seems like a distant dream that he will have to wait for. Both subjects stick to their accustomed way of life for another 5 years. At 40 years old, Kira has $1.5 million in investments and a $93,000 salary. Using the 4% rule of retirement, Kira can withdraw $5,200 per month from her investment portfolio without lowering the principal. At 40 years old, Kira has officially achieved FIRE. She can now completely retire from working and go live her dream of being a world traveler. Jody now has a $124,000 annual salary and $275,000 in his 401k. At 40 years old, he is now realizing that he has been financially pacing to retire at 67 years old. He really has enjoyed his experiences and his nice things, but the joy they provided didn't always seem to last. Now that he is older, he values spending time with family more, but like most people, he has to make sacrifices and prioritize his work in order to pay the bills. Also, he wishes that he took more financial risk when he was younger. Now that he is older, he can't afford to risk his earnings the way he would have if he was 25 again. He will be heavily relying on staying employed and nurturing his 401k that he has consistently built over the past 15 years. Although Kira can now leave the workforce, she gets a lot of fulfillment from her day job. She may go on a couple more vacations than she is used to now, but overall, she has grown to love the minimalist lifestyle and optimizing her hours of labor at her job. Now, she can't imagine living any other way and happily continues working for another 5 years. 5 more years go by, and at 45 years old, Kira has an annual salary of $108,000 and almost $3 million in her investment portfolio. Using the 4% rule, Kira can now stop working and live off of $9,800 per month without lowering the principal of her investment. According to USCensus.gov, the current income from her investments alone places her 25% above the median household income in the United States. Jody is now making a whopping $160,000 salary and has $540,000 in his 401k. He's worked hard to aggressively climb the corporate ladder, achieving a high-up position at his company. At 45 years old, it has become very clear to Jody that he is overly dependent on his job. When he looks at the next chapter of his life, he realizes that he currently only has enough money in his 401k to make him $1,800 per month. This is not enough to cover the average American's expenses, let alone the lifestyle that he has become accustomed to from his salary. Not only does he have to continue to work to ensure that his retirement account gets built, but 401ks are structured to penalize you an entire 10% of your portfolio should you decide to withdraw your funds early. By not building his own personal assets outside of his 401k, Jody has effectively trapped himself in the rat race of corporate America. This is why having your own personal investments is paramount to becoming financially free. Our 2 subjects live out the rest of their lives according to what their income will allow. From 45 to 67 years old, Kira has traveled the world, spent tons of time with her family, and developed her hobby of painting into a small business that keeps her occupied and fulfilled. Jody has spent his 50s and 60s working away at his high-paying job. Now that he has a higher position, he also has more responsibility, and his job is more demanding on him in his older years. He has had to sacrifice visiting with family and starting his fishing charter as he continues to work hard to be absolutely sure that he has enough saved up in his retirement account. By the age of 67, he can finally retire, combining his 401k with his Social Security benefits to live comfortably in a downsized apartment where he will be until he is too old to live on his own. According to whereyoulivematters.org, the average age of someone in retirement homes in the US is 84 years old. Sticking to this timeline, Jody has worked hard for the past 42 years to buy himself 17 years of freedom as a senior citizen before he moves into a retirement home. So let's compare and contrast both of our subjects over the last 42 years. Who worked less? Well, Kira made more sacrifices, but only for 15 years before she was completely financially free. Jody, on the other hand, worked hard at his career in corporate America for 42 years. So we are going to say that although he lived more comfortably outside of work for 15 years, the other 27 years of labor more than makes up for it, and therefore, Kira worked less than Jody. Who made a higher salary at their job? This one goes to Jody. By working hard at his career, he increased his salary 2% more per year than Kira. Who made a higher income? Even though Kira worked 27 years less than Jody, by the age 35, she had a combined annual income of $8,000 more per year between her salary and investments. By age 45, she makes $46,000 more than Jody per year. Who has a stronger wealth legacy to leave to their family? Kira has built up a net worth of $3 million by the age of 45, while Jody has just $500,000. If she were to pass away, her earnings can be passed down to her children and grandchildren, providing them with many opportunities that maybe she never even had. Who took less risk? While Kira put her hard-earned money in the hands of a sometimes volatile market and often stretched herself thin by paying herself before paying for her living expenses, history has shown a consistent long-term return of 10% in both the S&P 500 and real estate investing over time. She is diversified into many different asset classes through her portfolio, and therefore mitigates the risk of being overexposed to one sector of the market. Jody, on the other hand, took almost no personal risk in investing. But what would happen if he lost his job? What would happen if the market crashed right when Jody retired and wanted to collect from his 401k? I would argue that by being dependent on someone else to sustain his lifestyle and not diversifying his investments, Jody is actually taking more risk than Kira without even realizing it. Therefore, Kira took less risk. So there you have it. Mostly due to the compounding effect of investing money early on in her life, Kira has managed to work 22 years less than Jody while earning a higher monthly income and building a larger net worth for her family to inherit, all while taking less risk. It is important to understand that there is absolutely nothing wrong with living a life like Jody's. While Kira was sacrificing her quality of life in her 20s and 30s, Jody was spending his earnings on incredible experiences that made lifelong memories. In a way, Jody found a way to make a small vacation out of his daily life, while Kira dealt with the many frustrating and stressful limitations that come along with living off only 40% of your income in some of her most important years of life. If your values align more with Jody's, then it's important for you to understand the following possible downsides. Be prepared to work harder for longer. You may live comfortably while you are young, but by not funneling money into your own assets, you are dependent on your 401k that you cannot access without penalty until you are 67. In the words of Warren Buffett, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Love your career. If you love what you do, it won't feel like work. Also, understand that you will change over time. In 10 years, you might not love what you do anymore. Don't have regrets. By not taking the risk of investing your money early on, you miss out on the powerful effect of compounding interest that will exponentially grow your wealth. Your labor will never outwork the growth potential of the compounding effect. By evading risk, you are signing an unwritten 42-year contract to participate in what can feel like the rat race of corporate America. If Jody's lifestyle appeals to you, but being dependent on a job salary doesn't, consider a hybrid lifestyle that suits your own goals. A famous Harvard study about goal setting showed that of the many people tested, only 3% of them had written goals. After 10 years, the net worth of those 3% was 10 times that of the net worth of the other 97% combined. You can use strategies like goal setting and the many topics we discuss on this channel to take control of your life and live it on your own terms. The purpose of this video is to show you that you don't have to work until you are too old to enjoy retirement. Life is too short to do anything less than exactly what you love to do with your time. Do not let the norms and expectations of society shackle you into believing that you have to work your whole life away. For all those fire seekers out there who are sacrificing luxury and saying no to the money traps of life, if it's stressful, uncomfortable, and you sometimes question your resolve, you are probably doing it right. Finzilla. Devour opportunities. If you like this video and want more, you know what to do. Let me know in the comments what topic you want me to do next. Thanks for watching.